And in my awakening, it's like we begin again, over and over and over again. Each day becomes fresh and new if we keep ourselves present in the practice of awakening. We left last Sunday with these words from Avashanti. I want to share them with you again. I've been thinking about them a lot this week. I asked the question, he asked the question, what do you really want after all? To win? To pick the sweetest fruit on the tree? Or to rest from the endless succession of temporal moments and the promises that they never keep? What do you really want? To take or be taken? To find the great pearl of liberation? Or once again be consumed by it? What do you want? The Course in Miracles says it this way in the quote, I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. The pearl of great price, of the great liberation, is already in your pocket. You own it by birthright. It's yours. But as long as we value those things of lesser value, we can't own what is the great gift of our own awakening. In the Bible, it shares it and talks about it in the story of a merchant. We're always selling and buying, giving and receiving something. So in this scripture, it compares our life to what we truly value. And it says it this way. Again, the kingdom of heaven, now that is the queendom of Allah, if you speak the language of the Aramaic, which Jesus spoke, which means the kingdom, the queendom of oneness. That kingdom of heaven is like a merchant in search of fine pearls. And on finding one pearl of great value, he went and sold all that he had to get it. That's what it requires of us. Our willingness to do just that. When the times of the Bible were written, people had a habit of burying their treasures in their backyards, on their property, because they didn't have safety deposit boxes and they didn't have big safes that you could buy at Costco with 1,000 combinations. People just buried their stuff in their backyard. And often what would happen is the people would die and not tell anybody where the stuff was buried. Which kind of reminds me of how I feel like when Maureen's gone for 3 weeks. She has a lot of the stuff buried, the passcodes for the phones and where the stuff is. I don't know where anything is. The bank accounts, the bank slips. She has it all hidden and buried somewhere. One of the funniest side stories is, remember the Y2K days? Well, we were in our house in Puakola, a condominium there, and we moved out for a couple of years. We were gone, and Alethea was my daughter Alethea was putting a new sink in, and she looked and found a plastic bag sealed with 5 $100 bills in it. It was Y2K money that she'd hidden. So of course I'm running around looking to try to find money and stuff that's missing while she's gone. But the truth is when you have this treasure on your property and you bury it, well then nobody finds it until somebody in the story stumbles upon it. Somebody comes walking along on the property, maybe a tenant or someone who's renting the place, or just somebody out for a stroll. And in the Bible story, they catch a little edge of this very incredibly deep treasure underneath the ground. And when they would see it, they would say, oh, this is of so much more value than what I now own. I am willing to get rid of everything I own, sell everything that I own, liquidate all of my holdings to get this pearl of great price. It's telling us that's how important our awakening is. And we've got to be willing to put that kind of focus into it if we really want the pearl of great price. So if you just want to hang out and have a good time and get a little bit of this and a little bit of that, have a little fun manifesting some stuff, fine. You'll get that. It'll come back to you. But if you really want to wake up to who you are, you've got to put all your value into that which is valueless. It has its own value because of what it is already present within you. And you've got to be willing to do the deeper work of digging into the soil of your unconsciousness. This is not the pretty part of the work, is it? It means you've got to be willing to dig deep into the place in you that most people run. And an important part of the scripture tells us, first of all, in order to do digging, you've got to own the property that you're on. You've got to buy everything and buy the property to do the digging there. Most people don't own themselves at all. Do you know that? Most people are owned by old belief systems and old thought systems that come from parents and generations upon generations of people lost in the world of forgetfulness. Most people don't own the land underneath their feet. They talk, and they're not talking for anything that's present. They're talking about their past or their fears about the future. We've got to first own the piece of property that we stand on. This is the Buddhist part of the teaching. To own your consciousness fully is to be present where you are. And then you have the right to start digging. And when you start digging and looking at the stuff that you haven't looked at, some stuff's going to come up from your past that maybe you don't want to see or look at. Those moments when someone did something to you when you were real young, and it's still stuck there, and you're still trying to make up for it, and still trying to get people to love you in the way that no one ever did from your parents. It's there, it shows up. You don't get rid of those things when we do the deeper work. You integrate it. All of chapter 14 is about integrating all parts of ourselves that have been buried beneath the soil of our own unconsciousness. Just to do that, to be willing to do that, to see it for what it is. Because once you get that wonderful pearl of great enlightenment that's shining bright in you, well, then you're going to see all the places where you've buried yourself in the ground. And not be afraid to look at those things. Those are just mind moments of energy where you placed value in things that are valueless. It's not bad, it's just what you've done. So now you can look at it from the level of your enlightenment and integrate it into your life. So you can become a fully alive, awake human being on planet Earth. Not someone off in la-la land with all their chakras spinning, but someone who's really here to be of value, to help with what needs to be done now on this earth. Yeah, you end up becoming of value, of great value. You begin to accept this in yourself, and then you can share this kind of enlightenment with other people. Yeah? Caprice? You get it? That's what we're doing here. It's not just for ourselves that we're doing this. We're doing it for the benefit of all beings, doing this deeper practice, going into the well of our own being, and not be afraid to see what we see there. And not being afraid when things come up that we haven't owned or integrated into our life. I'm thinking about Moses. Now here's Moses, who has what you might consider an amazing moment of receiving the great pearl of liberation. He's told by a voice in a bush, Moses, Moses, I am that I am is speaking to you. Now, that's some good stuff, right? That's a great Sunday. I'll call that a great workshop. The voice for truth speaking to Moses, saying, I am that I am is within you, and I am speaking to you. And what does the voice say? It says, Moses, Moses, the ground upon which you stand is holy. Take off your old understanding, and I have a job for you in the great awakening that's happening on planet Earth. I want you to go tell the Pharaoh to let my people go. And he says, but I can't. I'm a stutterer. I've been stuttering my whole life. I can't get words out. I can't do it. And the voice says, you're right. You of yourself cannot do it. But I, working through you, will work miracles through you. You will be able to say and do things you cannot do alone. You'll be able to move people out of bondage into oneness and wholeness. That'll be your calling. And you won't be doing it alone. Isn't that powerful? That's what valuing what is valuable can bring to us. The presence begins to work with you. You're in a co-creative partnership with the Lord God of your being. And then all things become possible. Not because of you, little you, but because of who you truly are. And the two working together, bring forth miracles on planet Earth. Is this what you really want? Do you? This is something to ask yourself. Is this what you want? Or do you just want more of, the endless succession of temporal moments and the promises they never keep? I've done that already. I've watched what that does. I've gotten some things that I thought if I got them I'd be happy and my life would work. And now I'm looking and saying, that's just more emptiness. I will put value in that which will awaken me to who I am. And then whatever I do becomes a new day, a beautiful day, an awakening moment, right? A moment where you just go, I can't believe it. I missed this before, and now I'm awakened to it right now. I will not value the valueless, for that which is valuable has already been given unto me. It's a gift that God gives you, but you've got to be willing to give up the lesser for the greater. Bingo! And that's a moment-by-moment decision that you make all the time. I came home from our Wednesday night Dharma session, I'll call it, our Sangha, our Oasis. And it was one of those, Jim, you were there, very special evening. Sometimes something just comes together where it's just there. You know, about 21 of us there. And when I left, I had received the great pearl of liberation. My chakras was spinning, my crown chakra, my third eye, my heart was wide open. I walked into my house and I had that which is of greater value. I placed it on my mantle, I bowed, I went to go make myself a salad, and I'm gonna watch Star Trek: The Next Generation. You know, one of the side things about getting old, which is really good, is that when you're older, you can go back and watch something you watched 25 years ago and not remember one single episode from when you watched it. It's like I've never seen any of that before. I know the characters, I know Worf, I know all of them, but I don't remember any of the episodes. So I'm watching it and I'm having a really great time, and I am really valuing that which is most important. Until I realized I needed to charge up my iPhone. And so I went to go charge up my iPhone. Just plug it in, and I start to walk away, and it goes, would you like to get the upgrade for System 7.2, the 10.545678845 Captain Picard episode? Would you like this? And I went, well, actually, I kind of would. I don't like this System 7.22 that they loaded in my thing 2 months ago. In fact, I hate it. It doesn't work. It's too blurry, it burns my battery down, I can't see things clearly. I want them to go back to the way it was before. If you get together with iPhone people, they have this conversation. There are people who love what the upgrade was about, there are people who hate it. So I'm thinking this upgrade is going to help me begin to love what I've now been rejecting. I am now making something of lesser value, of greater value. I'm noticing my consciousness is shifting. I am getting lost in, oh, look, one of the many endless succession of temporal moments that will never bring me peace. This phone cannot bring me peace. It will not work. So I go and I plug it in, and I'm sitting down to eat. And then I hear a little beeping thing, and it tells me, if you want to continue with this download, you need to put in your password. I don't have the password. Maureen has the password. She doesn't think I'm intelligent enough to have the password. I don't have the password. So now I've taken this pearl of great price and I've thrown it. I just put it. Now this is on film now, friends. This is Maureen's favorite lotus crystal. Please tell Maureen, everyone, that I will put glue on it and fix it, but I'm so sorry I broke, but that's what happens. It's the greatest example. When you throw it on the ground and throw away that which is of great value, you end up chipping a little piece of it off, right? So I ended up giving myself away to the moment of iPhone illusion and delusion. So then I'm lost, and I'm on the computer trying to get my daughter on the phone. I can't talk on my phone because my phone stopped working. It's not working. I can't get my phone. I wanted to go back to where it was before, but it won't. And now it's become so important. It's 10:15 at night. This doesn't matter. But all of a sudden, it mattered. It became of great value and importance to me. Do you see how ridiculous we are? Does this sound like anyone you know? Has anybody else done this with your life? And I'm not just talking with a phone, with a relationship, with a situation, with a job challenge, with something you have no control over. How many times do we give away what is valuable for that which has no value whatsoever? So I'm on the computer and I'm about to make a really big fool of myself. I'm on the emails with my daughter, Alethea, Maureen. I even did Xander and his iPod, my grandson. How desperate is that? And then I start FaceTiming Alethea's phone. I didn't know I was FaceTiming her phone. I thought I was FaceTiming her computer. And it turns out, I finally go, I'm ready to give up. I don't want this anymore. I've given up. I've given up the jewel of the lotus of awakening for something so stupid and ridiculous. And then the phone rings, this phone rings, and it's Maureen. And she says to me, what the are you doing? You have FaceTime Alethea 14 times while she's on a business call with an important client. What is the matter with you? And I said, I don't know. A few moments ago, I was Moses with the Great Awakening, and now I don't know what happened. It's all falling apart. Help me, help me, help me. She goes, well, first of all, I'll give you the password. So she gives me the password to get the phone working right. And then she calls me back 10 minutes later after it's on and working. He goes, now I want you to shred it up. He wrote it down, right? And I said, why can't I keep the password? I'm a 63-year-old man. Why can't I have the password? Because somebody will find it on you. And I said, she goes, I want to hear that machine shedding right now. Do you see how silly we all get? You're laughing, but this is us. We all do this. Every moment of every day we make this choice to put value in things that have no value. And we wonder why at the end of the day we're all so exhausted. Because we spend time doing this all the time, trying to control things that we can't control. And we spend all of our energy on things that have no value. They just keep coming back in an endless succession of temporal moments that never give you what you want. They never deliver because they can't deliver. But what you're asking them to deliver, you already are. The only thing they can deliver that is the truth of your beingness. That's the thing they can deliver, the honest goods. Everything else is just counterfeit. Everything else is counterfeit. So I'm finally done at 11:15. I lost my voice screaming at that stupid screen. And I'm about to go to bed, and I text my daughter, Alethea. And I say, Alethea, hi, this is Dad. I'm so sorry for interrupting a very important business call. She'd been waiting for it. It was a job interview, and this got me face up. Dad. I said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. And she wrote this back to me. It was so beautiful. She said, first of all, it's nice to see that you can be as human and as stupid and ridiculous as the rest of us, first of all. And she goes, and second of all, Dad, I love you. Sweet dreams. And all is well. Now that has value, right? I love you. Sweet dreams. And all is well. That's what it's about. All is well. And I got up on my bed and I took my shoes off. And I was done with all of my old understanding, all the successive moments of being plugged into that which is valueless. And I lie down in bed. And a few moments later, I fell into this deep dream state. And in it, this being came to me, a he, she, we, it. And it opened up a necklace of the pearl of great price. These wisdom teachings that we are involved with right now are not just for pretty looks, although you do look marvelous. These are the gifts of compassion, of loving kindness, of awakening, of joy without measure, of owning who you truly are. And it said, I want you to take this now, and I want you to be sure and find someone who you can share this with, because it's not for you to keep for yourself. When you value what is valuable, you naturally will want to extend that value to somebody else. That's why we practice, right? Not just for ourselves, but for the benefit of all beings everywhere. May you practice well and practice deeply this week. May you be the great liberation in manifestation. Namaste.